Good day, everyone. My name is Chris Mulifi. I am the administrator slash site and office administrator for Semforce. I'm currently based here in Queenstown. Today we're going to talk about the ADM subcontractor documents that they need to submit, particularly focusing on this document that I have in front of me, which is a guideline documents for all the returnable documents that the contractors themselves they need to submit in order for them to continue with the work that is going on currently. I will ensure that all the contractors get a copy of this guideline of returnable documents, and I would also ask and urge you, all the contractors, to ensure that this is submitted as soon as possible so that we can fast track the process, especially of the administrative. Let's start. As you can see, this is actually the first page. This is how it looks like. Basically, it just talks about. Let me do this. I think this is enough. So obviously on top here we'll have Amatole District ADM. This is a panel of subcontractor for erection of VIP toilets. This is a guideline of returnable documents, employment of local labor, pre-construction phase. I'm sure based on the previous introduction that has been done or that is to happen, you would know that it is a prerequisite to have medical fitness for all your employees which are actually going to do the work. This will exclude your village coordinator and supervisor if the supervisor is not going to work. If the supervisor is actually going to work, they do need to do medicals. Work, I'm talking about the actual work of pit digging, installing of the toilet and such and etc. Unless your supervisor is just going to be someone who's doing administrative work, someone who's guiding in terms of what to do and all that, then they don't need to do medicals. But if it's someone who's actually hands-on, they need to do medicals. We will have there underneath pre-construction phase, we'll have construction and monitoring phase. So this document has all these papers that are that you will see from page 2 going onwards. So from page 2 we'll have local labor contract register, which is addendum A. Page 3 will have EPWP record data form, which we'll talk about. Addendum B, acknowledgement of deduction for PPE and medicals. Addendum C, letter of appointment pit digging. Addendum D, letter of appointment installation of pit material. Addendum E, letter of appointment installation of top structure. Addendum F, and then letter of appointment village coordinator. Addendum G, letter of appointment subcontractor supervisor. Addendum H, and daily register, which is the last page, which will be addendum I. Just a note there, general note: please sign, initial and complete all fields where required. And then very important point here to say: payment of local labor per task rate. In terms of the amount which local laborers are supposed to get, it's stipulated on your SLA, which I'm pretty sure if you are getting this document you would have already received all your SLA copy. It's inside there. For cash payment, a payment register will be made available. So after a payment has been made to you as a contractor, you will receive a payment register which you will assign, and the employees and the local laborers needs to sign and show the amount which they have received and etc. And then for electronic payment, proof of payment will be required. You obviously will still need to do a payment register, but you will attach the POPs, which is called the proof of payments, within the register when you are returning the register. Let's go to page 2, which talks about local labor contact register, which is addendum A. If I can just make it a bit bigger. This is a very important page, addendum A. On this page, basically what we do is we write all of our employees' names, ID number, and we need to indicate what kind of work are they going to do. Are they going to do pit digging, pit material, top structure? Are they village coordinators or are they supervisors? If they are, let's say for example, they are doing pit digging, they're doing pit material, they're doing top structure, you can tick all the boxes. What I'm just going to do, I'm just going to maybe just try and do fill in one for one employee. Let's say for example, what I always advise to be straight up is that contractors must do this contract documents when they are going to do medicals. This helps a lot because if you can do it during the medicals, it reduces the stress of you as a contractor going to the village and redoing the whole administrative work of doing contract, doing EPWP form. So what I would always advise contractors is that when you go and do medicals for your employees, what you do is you ask them to bring ID copies, and then as a contractor you take all the ID copies, you make copies of the ID copies, you certify all the ID copies. We use certified ID copies. We don't just take ID copy as a copy. We use certified ID copy, which will be submitted to me. If I can just go back here, we are still on the local labor contact register. So I'm just going to do one example on how to fill in this document here, and then we'll take it from there. So let's just do this. Let's say the employee name is Chris. Chris. Let's increase the number or the size wise. It will be Chris, and then the surname will be Mulifi. This is done when you are, let's say for example, my advice, this is done during the time where you're doing medicals with all your employees. So they are there on site, they are there on whatever site that they are busy doing medicals, and at the same time you are doing the contract. This is the ID number which you need to then fill in. Let's say for example, that's your ID number, and then if your employee is Chris Mulifi is your let's say is your pit digger, you say yes, and then let's say he's not a pit material, so pit material will be the inside of the excavation. Let's say he's not a pit digger, we say no, but I know for a fact that he will be helping us with the top structure. We will write yes there on the top structure. Please note, it cannot be that a whole employee who's going to be pit digging, pit material and top structure is also a village coordinator. A village coordinator is a village coordinator on their own, meaning this side it will be no for this employee. Let's say we have another employee by the name of let's use Marnas. I think that's how you spell Marnas. Let's just use Marnas Mulifi for example, for the sake of the example. He's also one of the employee. And then Marnas, he is let's say Marnas is our supervisor. meaning he's the supervisor. We also add him here, no matter what, because this is a register for all the employees that you have on site or that are working. Marnus is not he's not a pit material. He is the supervisor that is on site, but he is not a hands-on supervisor. This side we will write no, but we can indicate anywhere in terms of showing that indeed Marnus is a supervisor. We can indicate in here, or we don't need to indicate, because Marnus will be filling in the last paper of the document. You'll see what I mean there. And then we have, let's say we have another employee by the name of Mr. Nabu. Mr. Nabu is our third employee who is working on this project. There you go. And then we fill in his ID. Why are you not moving? We fill in his ID, Mr. Nabu. And then let's say Mr. Nabu, he's our so-called village coordinator, meaning we're gonna write no for every document this side, and then we're gonna tick no for every task this side besides the village coordinator task. So this side we will tick yes, because he is our village coordinator. And then we come this side whereby all the employees need to sign this side. So we write the date in which the employees did the signature. So let's say, for example, they did the medicals on the 19th of July. On the 19th of July, 19th of July 2024. That is a bit bigger, but we will see what we can do so that it can fit properly in our block here. Why are you doing that, my brother? We will just decrease the size, the side, but obviously with the handwriting it will be beautiful and readable. Please let's try and help out the employees, especially some employees whom might have a handwriting which is not readable. And then this side will be the signature side, and then let's say for this stand we already sign here. This will be the date the employee will sign on the 19th. Let's say per my advice, the employee is signing on the same day which they are doing the medicals, so meaning it's easier and quicker for everyone. Let's say this is his signature. This is Marna's signature. He signs there on the 19th of July. And then Mr. Nabu there also, who is our village coordinator, he also signs. Then we move on. This is addendum A, which is done. Now, these are the only 3 employees that, let's say, for the sake of the example here, which we will be utilizing on our side. But of course, we know as a contractor, you would have planned to say, maybe I need 10 employees, maybe I need 15. But according to the stipulated number, which a minimum stipulated number, you will have employees, you would have already know the number, and then it should be showing there. So if you have 15 employees, meaning you're going to have 15 employees here. If you need extra page, you will make a copy, and then you will also indicate that this is page 1, the next page will be page 2, by just indicating as easy as writing 1 or 2 just on one of the anywhere on the page here, so that we know this is the register 1, and then there's a register 2 for all your employees. And then as a contractor, let's say my name of the company is I'm just gonna make example, let's say it's Chris Trading. Chris Trading is our company, and then we write the name of the individual, which is name and surname of individual, the representative of the contractor. Let's say you are the director and you write your name this side. So this side, let's use Mr. Mano, who is our one of our who is also one of the foremen that side. And then since you are Mr. Manu, you will sign here as a director to indicate that indeed whatever information above here, it is of your employees. This is done. After this is done, we have to go to addendum B based on the pages above mentioned here. So on page 3, this is the EPWP record and EPWP form and the certified ID as speculated on my stipulated on my advice in terms of how do you take this accordingly, to say when you are bringing your employees to medicals, you try and ensure that they have ID copies with them, or they have ID copy, and then you go and certify those ID copies, or you go and make copies and then certify ID copies. So addendum B, you would be familiar as a contractor that this is the EPWP form, the so-called expanded public work program. So this needs to be filled fully. However, this part here, which maybe I should try and highlight, struggling to highlight this part, but I will use this to highlight this part whereby it's project name and stuff. Let's try and leave this part. The office will fill this part. So this part here where it talks about the so-called project name, project ID, and etc. Let's leave this part for the office. The office will ensure that this is completed properly. So we are going to leave this part. We don't need to fill this part as a contractor. My office will ensure that this is done and it's filled accordingly. Then we move. This is employee details. So all of your employees need to fill this document. If you have 15 employees, meaning you will have 15 addendum Bs. You'll have 15 EPWP forms. So for example, let's just try and fill this one. I'm not gonna spend too much time here because it speaks for itself, this part. Now this is where employee name Chris Mulifi, and then you will fill that part of the Chris Mulifi. This is Chris is one of our employee, and then we'll jot down everything that is needed in terms of country, date of birth, gender, home, cell phone number, next of kin's number, any disability, yes or no, marital status, resident information, resident province, municipality, ward number, residential address, highest grade of pass, family background, number of people in the household, number of dependent in the household, number of children attended the school, government grant, yes or no, and etc. Until this document is filled, until the initial part here. And then this document, when you are given this document, you need to ensure that each and every EPWP form, it goes along with an ID, a certified ID copy. I need to repeat this and emphasize this: a certified ID copy. We are not going to accept ID copies which are not certified. each EPWP form must go along with a certified ID copy. This is per the client or the municipality's request. So please ensure that you are certifying the ID copies of all of your employees, village coordinator, supervisor, and all the groundman's work. So we move on. Before we move on, let's go to let's make a reference to whatever page, the first page we were talking about. This is the acknowledgement of deduction for PPE material, which is addendum C. So in addendum C, basically what it entails is that we are you as a contractor, you need to ensure that all of your employees acknowledge that indeed they are going to pay for their own safety boots, the overall, and the medical fitness. So this needs to be filled by you on top here. So obviously the subcontractor, we said it's Chris Trading, which is the name of the contractor, local municipality. If you are working, let's say you're working in Amahlati, I'm sure that's how you spell Amahlati. Why is this thing doing Amahlati? And then it's in ward let's say 25, just for example's sake. Let's say ward 25. So this part needs to be filled, ladies and gentlemen. Please, this part needs to be filled. So for villages, this is, you would have known, or if you don't know the villages which you are allocated at, you don't need to fill this part. But if you already know which villages you are going to be allocated, you will fill this part. Let's say what village can I come up with? Fort Brown. Let's say, for example, Fort Brown is my village. And then what else? Give me a village name, Chris, that can come up in your head right now. What village? I can't think of any village at the moment. Chris, any village, my brother. Boknes, and Lava. I just came up with that name, Lava. So let's say, for example, these are the villages which you are allocated. You fill in that part, and then as a contractor, you know the amount of the amount per the safety boots that you are going to buy for your employees, right? You would have already bought them, or if you didn't buy them, obviously you would still need to go back and buy them. Let's say, for example, the safety boots that you bought particularly for your employees cost around 600. So for the deduction, you need to show that safety boots, you are going to deduct 600 for employee, and then overalls will be the PPE, let's say $50. I'm just making an example, 50 rand. And then please don't use my amount specifically. You as a contractor, you would know how much. The rate for medicals which I've seen for most service providers is 300. So let's use 300, and then we will all of the employees whom are on our so-called list needs to be filled this side. So surname is Mulifi. This is employee number 1. Now this is very important, contractors. Mulifi on addendum A is Chris Mulifi. He is the first employee, correct? Now Chris Mulifi also needs to be number 1 this side. Who is our groundman? So here we will fill in Chris, whom is our so-called groundsman, and then the ID number. The ID number. Why is it doing this? The ID number, you will fill it in. 85 12 21 515 4080. This is the ID number for Chris Mulifi, and then he will need to sign. Chris Mulifi would need to sign to agree that he's really acknowledging that you as a contractor, you will deduct this amount of money for those particular things. And then as a contractor, don't forget, I won't fill in all the employees, but you will have an idea that number 2 we had Marnas Mulifi as our so-called I think Marnas was our supervisor. Yes, supervisor. Now Marnas will be number 2 here as a supervisor. Subcontractor's name, we still need to fill this part. It's Chris Trading. And then we still continue like that. The villages, if we remember, we said the village, no, this is the village coordinator name and signature. We said our village coordinator, in that case we said is now Mr. Nabu Tembekile, correct? Then we move like that. I've seen that this video is about 26 minutes now, but we will try and make it as quick as possible, ensuring that we don't miss any details. The village coordinator, which is Mr. Nabu, signs this side, and the contractor director or representative will sign here. Beautiful. Let's move on, ladies and gentlemen. Before we move, we need to continue referencing from the guideline. We are on page 4 now, which is addendum C. We're on page 5, Chris. We're on page 5. We just finished page 4, which is the acknowledgement of the deduction for PPEs and medicals. We are now on page 5, which is letter of appointment for pit digging. Ladies and gentlemen, now this is where addendum A plays a very important role. Now you must remember, we said we have 3 employees, which is Chris Mulifi, Marnas Mulifi, and Mr. Nabu Tembekile, correct? Now we said for pit digging, Chris Mulifi is the only pit digger, meaning Chris Mulifi is going to do the pit digging himself only, right? That means when we are filling in addendum D, which is page 5, we will fill in every document, every detail this side. Let's fill it in quickly. The subcontractor name is Chris Trading. Let's try and be quick at this side. I'm just gonna fill this part quickly so that we can go to the real important stuff that we're not supposed to miss, especially when filling in this part, because I've seen this is where the contractors most of the time they misunderstand this contract template. Here are the thing, the village which we are dealing with. Why is it not moving? Let's just do another one. The village. I can't see where is my. Oh, here you go. The village, we said, I can't remember, but it's Fort something. Let's write Fort King is our village or villages, right? Now this is where we need to be very careful. Now we did say, okay, this part is the contractor or the director of the contractor or someone who is representing the company, right? So we would write the name of the person. So let's say, for example, the Chris Trading, the owner of Chris Trading is Yamkela. The owner of the company is Yamkela. the surname of Yamkela, let's say, is Mulifi also. And then he, who is the director of the company or the representative of the company, will sign here to acknowledge that indeed these are his employees. Now, this is the most important part. Now, Chris Mulifi, since he's our employee number 1, who is a pit digger, and we are dealing with pit digging, Chris is going to initiate down here as number 1. As number 1. And when we check our register, because we only have 3 employees and only 1 pit digger, meaning pit digging, there's only going to be 1 person who's going to sign or initiate that page of pit digging. If we have other employees, let's say for example our number 2 is our village coordinator, because village coordinator is not going to be doing pit digging, he is not supposed to sign, meaning number 2 will have an empty space. And let's say for example number 3 is a supervisor who is not hands-on, who didn't do medicals, meaning number 3 is going to be empty. Then let's say for example number 4 is our one of the guys or one of the females who's actually also doing the pit digging. He or she is going to sign on number 4. I hope that makes sense. I really hope that makes sense. Then we move. Where we move, subcontractor representatives. Let's say the person who was representing the contractor on this case, because Yamkela is the director, let's make Lwandiso is our representative of Chris Trading, and then he will sign here, not write the name Chris. Lwandiso don't need to write his name there. He needs to sign there. So Lwandiso, as a representative of the company, would sign here. And then don't forget, we said on the register, which is addendum A, that Mr. Tembeki Lenabu, who is number 3, is our village coordinator. On each and every page that will come after, the village coordinator needs to sign, meaning Mr. Tembeki Lenabu will now sign here as a village coordinator to agree to say, no, indeed, all the above mentioned employees have signed to acknowledge that they are pit diggers. Let's move, ladies and gentlemen, without further waste of time. But when we move, we are still referencing the pages according to the first page, which is a guideline. Now we are on page 6, which will be addendum E, installation of pit material, which is addendum E. Ladies and gentlemen, this part literally the same as the previous page, but this is now the pit material inside. It's Chris Trading. Chris Trading, the local municipality. We will write there. We said it's Amahlati. I'm not gonna write it again. The words, if you have the words already, you fill it. If you don't, you leave that part. The villages, if you know the villages which you are located, you fill. If you don't, you leave that part. And then don't forget, this is the part whereby the director or the representative of the contractor fills. I said the director of our company is Yamkela Mulifi in this case. Now Yamkela Mulifi will then fill this part, and then sign on the signature side. Now let's say, for instance, according to our register, Chris is not the so-called pit material installer. But then it happens that we decide, no, Chris, you will do the pit digging. You'll also install the pit material. You'll also install the top structure. Now, on where is it? On addendum E, which is installation of pit material. Now, Chris, because he's also the pit material, he will also need to sign, but he is only signing on his number. So Chris needs to sign here on number 1. I hope it makes sense. I hope it's starting to make sense. I hope it making there's light at the end of the tunnel now. Now you have an idea on what to do, what is necessary and all that. Now let's go to the next page. As you can see, I'm a bit faster now because I hope that the momentum would have already gashed in and you will be moving at the pace now. Let's go to page 7. Now page 7, referencing to our guideline, is addendum F. We then continue to say addendum F is easy as the previous one. We will obviously fill in the necessary necessary information that we need to fill. A local municipality, the different wards that you are selected. If you don't know the wards at the moment, we leave that part. Don't forget, we said the name of the director of our company is Yamkela Mulifi, and then the signature of Yamkela is here. And then don't forget, now Chris is also a top structure installer. He still initiates this part as number 1. We don't say now Chris signs at number 11. No. Chris still initiates as number 1. We said Donovan is our contractor representative, right? And then the village coordinator is Mr. Nabu Tembekile. He also needs to sign this. Don't forget. Now there's something that I want you to realize. While you are doing this part, it's so easy to forget this part. Subcontractor representative, village coordinator. So while you are filling this part, you need to keep on ensuring that indeed you don't forget any part. Donovan needs to sign every document, and village coordinator also needs to initiate or sign every document. We move on. I can see, ladies and gentlemen, we are on 38 minutes now. My hope and trust was that this video doesn't last more than 45 minutes, but we are on 40 now. We're almost on 40 now. Before we go to addendum G, we go to the reference. Please ensure that you are always going to reference to ensure that you are familiar with everything. Now we are going to number 8, which is letter of appointment, village coordinator, which is addendum G. Addendum G is as follows. This is our addendum G, village coordinator, separate contract. We said when we were taking the register, Tembekile Nabu is our so-called village coordinator, right? It is stated, it's here on addendum A. Now, Tembekile Nabu, now as a village coordinator, he needs to fill in this part as addendum G, as a contract, as a village coordinator. Now, don't forget, we still have Chris Trading as our company. Chris Trading, the local municipality. I will waste some time here to ensure that every document is well filled. And then the wards, if you know your ward, you fill it in. If you don't know the wards, you leave it. The villages, I said the villages, it's Fort. It's just for example's sake, it's for example. Then we fill in this part. Now, the village coordinator, we said the name of our village coordinator, it's Nabu, right? Let's fill in names in this. Why are you not filling in, my brother? Technology sometimes it does this. Nabu, Thembekile. There you go. Now, is Thembekile what you call? Is Thembekile above or over 35? You will indicate here by maybe, let's say Thembekile is above. He's above. So we will scratch yes this side. Let's do this just to show that we are scratching out this part and we are leaving the yes, I mean the no, meaning Thembekile is above 35. The race which Thembekile is from or is recognized as, let's say Thembekile Nabu is black. The date which you are signing this contract with Thembekile, we said is 19th of July 2024. And then we fill in the ID number of Thembekile. I'm not gonna fill in each and every block, but you know this is in block, meaning we said Thembekile ID number is 721221515480. But it will make sense because this one has blocks, meaning when you are filling it up or when you are filling it in, the numbers need to be in block, you know, in those respective blocks. Beautiful. And then Thembekile now needs to sign. He signs here as a contractor. If you are there to witness Thembekile signing, let's say you are Yamkela and you are witnessing that indeed you were there when Thembekile signed this contract. And then we continue. Don't forget, Thembekile is a village coordinator, and we said a village coordinator will sign almost each and every document, meaning even his contract, he will be signing it. So this is where Thembekile comes in. We need to put Thembekile's signature here as a village coordinator. VC, that is what it represents. Let's say Yamkela as the owner of the company, Yamkela Mulifi. Yamkela Mulifi is the owner of the company, signs, writes his name and surname that side, and then he also do a signature or initiate this part. Now the village coordinator contract is done. Addendum G is done. We're going to addendum H, but ensure that you are referencing everything. You know, this is letter of appointment, subcontractor supervisor, which is addendum H. Now let's go and fill addendum H. We said based on the register, Marnus Mulifi is our supervisor, correct? And we said specifically he's not a hands-on supervisor. Don't forget that part. Now we fill in this part now. We fill in this part, the contractor or the subcontractor. Don't forget it's Chris Trading. Chris Trading, very innovative construction company, this one. Local municipality, Amahlati. The ward is Ward 25. If you don't know the word, it's fine, we can leave that part, but the subcontractor and the local municipality should be filled. Fort is the village. Now Marnas needs to fill in this part. Marnas, the surname of Marnas is Marnas Mulifi. Now the ID number for Marnas, I think we said it's 82 up there. 82 21 515 4080. Right, we on the blocks, ladies and gentlemen. Please, for the sake of the computer, it won't be in the blocks, but please ensure that it's in the block. Don't forget, we need to also show if Marnas is a female or male. Marnas is a male, female is cancelled, or male is circled. Is he disabled or not disabled? In this case, Marnas is not disabled. Nope. And then, is Marnas above 35 or not? Marnas is above 35, meaning he's not a youth under. And then the race or ethnicity we've put here. Marnas Mulifi, he's black. And then you are hereby employed in the following villages. Don't forget, if you know the villages, you fill them in. If you don't know the villages as yet, you leave this part. Fort and let's say Harare, just an example. And then you will need to show that per completed structure. Let's say for completed structure, each and every structure you will be paying Marnas 200 per structure. When you are done with that part, you come here. This is the part where the contractor himself signs. As a contractor, Yamkela Mulifi is the name of the director who is actually doing all the work. This is Chris Trading, because as stated here, this is the subcontractor company name. And then Yamkela would now needs to sign here to acknowledge that indeed he did hire Marnas Mulifi as a supervisor. We then continue to say Marnas also needs to sign now to show that indeed he's agreeing to the terms and conditions above. Here is where Marnas signed, and the village coordinator, who is Nabu, or any witness to witness this, needs to then sign here, but most preferably the village coordinator. Ladies and gentlemen, addendum H is done. We still going back to reference. Ensure that we are referencing to understand what we are doing. The daily register, which is number 10 now, which is addendum I, we keep it for ourselves as a contractor. This will be the so-called attendant register daily, in terms of who is on site at what time are they clocking in, what time are they clocking out. You keep this for yourself. You will provide this as a contractor when you are giving us the payment register. Please note, you will only send us the attendant register when you are done with your the so-called toilets. You have already submitted the happy letters, you've already submitted the invoice. Now you are giving us the payment register. Now you attach this as a attendant register to show that indeed employee number 1, which was Chris Mulifi, Marnas Mulifi and Tembekile, they were on site from this time until this time. Please ensure that you give us this, and then you will fill it in. And then the name here will be, don't forget, Marnas is our supervisor. Signature of Marnas, to show that Marnas he does agree to all the the time, the employees, and everything that is mentioned there. And then we will have the date in which, let's say we take a month to do this. Let's say on the 19th of August, we are done. Now this will be given on the 19th. So Marnus will sign this on the 19th of August. Ladies and gentlemen, that's how you fill in the contract. I've tried to make it as short as quick as possible. I didn't hit the 45 minutes mark, which was my goal, but it is 50 minutes, around 50 minutes 22. That's how you fill in the contract, my ladies and gentlemen. Now when you are submitting the document, I will show you, I will give you a video on how you actually submit the documents. But basically, if I can just give you a summary, when you are submitting the documents, let's say for example, if you are a contractor that decided that I will be doing medicals with whatever service provider that I'm using, what you then do is, when you are submitting the documents, they must come in this order. Number one, it must be the ID copy of the employee, the certified ID copy of the employee. This is when you are scanning now to send to me. The certified ID copy of the employee, the EPWP, the filled EPWP form, the full medical certificate for the employee, and then you send it accordingly. So Chris Mulifi will be number one. We're basing it based on the register. So Chris Mulifi will be our number one, meaning if you chose a different service provider, Chris Mulifi, I will attach a certified ID copy of Chris Mulifi, the EPWP form which is filled of Chris Mulifi, and the medical certificate records for Chris Mulifi. And then number two, Marnus, you will then scan the ID, certified ID copy of Marnus Mulifi, the EPWP form of Marnus Mulifi, and the medical certificate for Marnus Mulifi. Number three, you will give out the certified ID copy of Nabu Tembekile, the field EPWP form for Tembekile Nabu, and the medical record for Tembekile Nabu. And then when you are done with all those documents, you then give on the side the contract document. So the contract document, when you are giving it to me, now it must have addendum A, it must have addendum C, it must have addendum D, addendum E, addendum F, addendum G, addendum H. When you are scanning and giving to me, try by all means, when you are sending the document, put every document in one email. If you need to do a zip folder, do a zip folder. If you need to just scan them and put them on one email, do so. On the subject of the email, indicate that this is ADM, and then you will state to say these are the documents for contractor, let's say Chris Mulifi. So when you are writing an email, then you will let's say for example, wait, we didn't save that, we didn't save this, we need to save. Now this is for now we are sending to Chris now. We are sending all the documents to Chris now. I want to save this now. Come on, Chris. Why is it not agreeing? Let's do this. It's fine. Let's do it manually. So these are documents for Chris Mulifi, if you can remember. Chris Trading, if you can remember. So Chris Trading document. Now we are sending an email now. And when we are sending email, let's hide that. We're here. We're sending an email to what is it? We're sending an email to Chris. Now the email is c dot small letters c.molefi at semforce.co.za. What I always say is that try to also CC yourself on the email to ensure that at least you know that the email went through, ADM Chris trading document. Write a professional email. Good day, Mr. Molefi. Good day, Mr. Molefi. My name is Yamkela Molefi from Chris Trading. We have done our let's almost say please do find the attached documentation above or below. What did I write there? That's not attached. Yeah, that is not attached. Above. Number one will be the ID copy is the ID copy. No. Let's say certified ID copy. EPWP form and medicals for all my employees. Number two was we are sending two different documents. Number two is contract documents for my employees. Just to leave a note there, I will wait for your site instructions, Mr. Molefi. Mr. Molefi. Thank you very much. Thank you. Regard. And then don't forget, we still need to attach that file of ours. Where is it now? Where is the file now? Here is it. Chris Trading. There is the file. Ensure that the email is well documented, correct people, ADM Chris Trading documents, and a very nice lengthy email. Beautiful. Now we are sending an email. Send an email. It's now showing wrong things now. Now you go and check to say, did I indeed send that email? It is sent. Beautiful. I'm done. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening to me. I hope now we have a better understanding of what is needed, what do we need to do in terms of our documents, contract, especially the contract. How do we send it? How do we fill it in? And what is necessary? Please do note, when you did medicals or you used sessions, meaning you won't be able to send medicals because they will only be sent by a service provider to us. So when you are scanning the documents, you will scan the ID copy you will scan the certified ID copy. You will also send the filled EPWP form, but which wouldn't have the so-called medicals for all of your employees respectively. And the second document will obviously be the contract. There you go. This is my email, ladies and gentlemen. It's Chris, it's not Chris, it's c.molifi@semforce.co.za. That is my email address. My WhatsApp and call number is 076-044-5990. You can send me a WhatsApp message, no detail. You can also call me. But if it's a small thing or it's going to be a very lengthy conversation, try by all means to send me a WhatsApp. I will respond to you accordingly, because sometimes I'll be too busy to answer your phone call. Ladies and gentlemen, that is all from me. That is my email address. That is my my cell phone number. Thank you very much. I can't wait to hear from you. I can't wait for us to communicate. I can't wait to receive your document, and I can't wait to have a very successful project which we are having. And I hope and pray that we have a very harmonious and respectful, I need to repeat that, we have a very harmonious and respectful relationship going forward. Thank you very much.